erasers. So in today's video, I have, I forget, I always forget, 5 DIY, Dollar Tree DIYs. They're very springy and they're very easy. Okay, so let's get right into it. On this first one, I took this little mini sign from Dollar Tree, and it had a cloud on the front, but I removed that little cloud, and then I just painted it with like one rough coat of this buttercream chalk paint, Dixie Belle chalk paint that I have. And then I wanted to take those 2 eggs and put them in there, so that's what I was doing there. I was just seeing if I liked it. So anyway, like I said, I get it painted up. Okay, and then I didn't like just the pure orange carrot, so I took some white yarn that I had also from Dollar Tree, and I just like kind of looped it around there and kind of made it look like, I guess, like a candy cane. No. Anyway, candy corn. No. Anyway, I think it looks cute like that. Like I said, I just didn't like the pure orange, and I wanted just some cream colored yarn in there. And then I just hot glued them to this little sign, and that was all for that. Super simple on that part. And then I went ahead and added a little bow to the top, and I'll just show you here. I just made like 2 loop-de-loop bows is what I call them. Anyway, I just made 2 like that, hot glued them on, and then I also took like a little wood button piece that I have, and I just attached that. I was actually just testing it out, but it ended up sticking, so I left it there anyway because the glue was still hot. And then here's a look at how this one turned out. I think it's so adorable, and I just set it on my tiered tray, and I think it's like perfect size for a tiered tray. So anyway, and then moving on to this one. This one's very quick and easy. This was just a Dollar Tree wooden cross, and I took the color Hickory gel stain and stained it. And then I took that same buttercream paint and just very lightly dry brushed it. Like, not dry brushed it, but I just gave it a very rough coat, again, like I said on the first one, of this buttercream paint. And then I took my sanding block and just kind of sanded it back off before it was dry because I wanted it to kind of have a chippy look to it, like just an old rustic chippy look. Okay, and then I just played around with the paint and the sander block and the stain there for a minute just to, like, get it how I wanted it. I just went back and forth, with all the things, and then finally got it how I liked it. I find on this kind of stuff, you just kind of have to bear with the process and, like, keep going until you get it how you like it. Because sometimes it's kind of like, ew, at first. But, like I said, you just keep going until you get it how you like it. And if all else fails, just paint the whole thing white in the end. Okay, and then moving on to this next one for a minute because I'm going to show you guys my whole tiered tray in the end, and that's what that cross goes on. So anyway, I had this little scrap piece of like barn style wood from something that we took apart. Anyway, I just slapped on another rough coat of this buttercream paint, and like I said, just kind of roughed it on there. But this this barn wood was already like a rough wood, so this is very easy to make look distressed. And then I took stain and I just kind of dry brushed it around the edges in the middle, but then I went back in with buttercream and like made the middle white, and I just kind of blended it and shaded it, I guess you could say, until I got that middle part looking like it was, what's the words, like it was just white in the middle. I don't know how to explain that other than that you can watch what I'm doing. Okay, and if you guys have watched my videos before, you probably know I used to put music to the background of these, but I stopped for my last few here recently because I keep getting copyright claims on the music that comes with my iPhone. That's all I've ever used, and it's very frustrating because I don't know how to fix it. And then, anyway, long story short, so I'm not putting music on the background of my videos anymore, so I'm sorry if that, like, bores anybody. And I know I wish I could, like, figure out how to add music, and I know I can. I probably will try someday, but anyway, blah, blah, blah. On to this thing here, this blessings sign. This is from Dollar Tree, and I don't know if they have these this year, but I just took a bunch of paints and I just dabbed them on there. I took like an orange and a blue and a green because I wanted it to have like a rustic, almost rusted look, and I don't think I really achieved that, but I still really liked the color in the end. So anyway, I just took some E6000 and some hot glue and glued that on there, and because if you just use hot glue, it tends to not hold it. I've learned over the years here of crafting. But anyway, then I took that little piece of pretty green and orange checkered ribbon and I attached it on the side there, and then I made a little bow and attached it around the top, and I absolutely love how this turned out. It is so, so pretty. And here's a look at it on my tiered tray along with the cross, and like I said, I love this. I know it's very neutral and simple, but I love it. Absolutely love it. Okay, and then moving on to this little mini wreath. I took the wreath form from Dollar Tree, the little mini one. It comes in like a 2-pack. And then I just took this ribbon. You could use any ribbon, but this was from Burlap Fabric. And I'll link them in the description box. They've sent me a bunch of ribbon, and I'm still using it. It seems like in every video I use it. But anyway, I just looped that around there. As you can see, I sped up the process because I'm pretty sure it's pretty simple what I was doing there. And then I took this bunny. These are from Michael's. I got last year, but like I said, I think Dollar Tree also sells something like this. And I tried to patch the ear holes with hot glue, but didn't really work out that great. So I just painted the whole thing white and then dry brushed it with my stain there. And I had a little button plug thing, so I used that for the little bunny tail. And then I just made a really big bow because I wanted something on the other side of this wreath. So like I said, I made this big bow with all these ribbons. You can see here, so pretty. I love how this turned out. And I'm going to use this out on my porch on this little window that I have out there that I sit between my little table and chairs. Anyway, I'm going to hang this on that window. But for now, I just hung it inside. So here's a look at how that turned out. And I think it's super cute and simple and so easy. Just a fun way to use up some of your ribbon and your Dollar Tree wreath form if you have one. So much fun. Okay, and then moving on to probably one of my favorites from this video. I love painting these little wooden cutout things that you can get like at Dollar Tree or, well, I got this at so I got this, like I said in my last video, our Dollar Tree is a Dollar Tree / Family Dollar, so this was like $3, I believe. Anyway, they used to, at Michael's, they're like $10, so $3 is awesome. So anyway, I'm not going to talk this whole time. I'll let you guys watch what I was doing. But as you can see there, I stained. Well, I tried to paint it white first because I wasn't sure the path I wanted to take on this. But I didn't like the white at all. So I ended up just staining the background. And then I decided in my head that I was going to make this just like a really rustic, shabby chic looking thing that kind of looks old and weathered. So as you can see when you watch this, I didn't try to be perfect. I just painted it like for fun. I didn't worry about it being perfect, like I said. So it was very fun to paint, and I love how it turned out in the end. Like I said, I just love painting these things. But yeah, I'll just let you watch this process, and stay tuned for the review at the end, and then the little story that I have at the end today of my God sighting stories like I have been doing in each video. Today's is one of my favorites. So anyway, just stay tuned to the end of this video for that. Okay, so like I said, I just painted this and made it like not perfect. I just wanted it to look real rustic and shabby chic. Well, then I have this this pole here, or what do you want to call it? Stake, I guess. And it's not pointed on the bottom, but I'm going to have Axel cut it for me, or I'm going to cut it so I can put it down in a flower pot or maybe out in the landscaping. I'm not really sure yet because, you know, it's not quite warm enough here yet for these things. But anyway, I just took some twine and I hot glued it on the back, and then I stapled it down too so it would be super secure. And then I turned it back around and stapled the Hello Spring watering can to it as well. And then here is a look at how it turned out. I think it's so pretty, and I can't wait to put it outside and some flowers. All right, thank you everybody. If you've made it to the end of this video, thank you so much. So in the end of today's video, as I mentioned in my last two videos, I'm going to be including little God sighting stories. If you want to know more about that, go back 2 videos back and watch that one. And at the end, I explain all of that. But so anyway, today's little God sighting story I wanted to tell you guys about it happened a very long time ago. You're probably going to hear my kids a little bit. They're down here with me, and I'm making them be quiet. But anyway, so it happened like probably 10-ish years ago. It was when my grandpa passed away, and I'm trying to make it a little bit of a long story short. So the day that I used to live in a little house by myself, and I was getting ready for the funeral, and I was looking out my back window, and like I said in my last God sighting story, if you watched it, it was about birds too. I don't know what it is with birds. They're just a little bit spiritual for me, I guess. But anyway, so I was looking at my back window, and I saw these 2 red birds just like dancing in the bush together. They were really cute, and they caught my eye, you know what I mean? So I was looking at them, and I don't know why, but when I went to the funeral, I mentioned it to my mom that I had seen 2 redbirds. I think maybe during the service they were talking about redbirds. I don't know. Anyway, for some reason during the service I mentioned it to my mom, and she started crying, and you know, at the time I didn't realize the significance of a redbird. When your loved one passes away, it means they've made it to heaven or something like that, you know. It is the meaning of that. So anyway, that was that. Well, then the next day, I was getting ready for work in my house, also in my little closet I had in my basement, and there's a window off to the side, and I was looking, I was getting dressed, like I said, and I was looking out the window, and this redbird was sitting right there, looking in the window at me. And like when I tell you that it was the most comforting thing I've ever experienced in my life, I'm not even kidding. Like, if you've experienced that after a loved one has passed, you know what I'm saying. But if you haven't, you probably sound like a crazy person. But anyway, it was just so nice and so comforting, and it reassured me in my mind that my grandpa was in heaven, he was safe, and it reassured me in my mind at that time that everything was fine. You know, he'd gone to heaven. You know, and at the time I wasn't as secure in my like faith. But it really like was like a sign from God, like I said, to me that he was in heaven and everything was fine, like I said. So yeah. So anyway, if you all ever experienced something like that, please share it with me in the comments. Like I said, I love hearing these stories. That's what I said in a couple videos back. I love hearing these stories. I guess personally they just give me a lot of comfort in knowing that there's like all these signs out there in the world happening. And my son's right here. Anyway, so yeah, say hi. Say hi. Anyway, so yeah, please share with me in the comments if you have an experience like that, because I would love to hear it, and I would love to maybe share it on the end of these. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching.